What's up, everyone? It's your boy, the Shell Bullet 8, and today we got a different type of video going for you guys. So we spoke about this before, and some people have asked me to do something on it. Plus, I figure it's like a pretty big topic that everybody kind of wants to know more about or has been hearing a whole lot about. And so we're gonna jump into crypto. Not gonna go into like the all the very beginnings, all the different types, so on and so forth. We're going to focus on a few different types and one of the more popular ones today, and what specifically has been going on over the past month, few weeks more than anything. And so let's go ahead and just jump into it right now. All right, so right off the top, the main crypto we're going to be talking about today is Shiba Inu. The reason why is because of the fact that there's been a whole lot of different information that's being spread around, and it's one of the better performing cryptos at this point in time. Now, if you don't know what crypto is, I'd love to actually make more videos on this. As you guys know, I do a lot of different types. This is kind of a variety, channel and things like that. And so this is more so meant to give people insight on what crypto is. And as of right now, more so the stuff that's been going on over the past few weeks. Plus, it's going to give you a little bit more detail on how you can actually find out what's happening with crypto, the crypto market as a whole. And I'm going to give you just a small amount of information on some of the other cryptos that you can look into. I'm going to say this right now as a disclaimer. This is not financial advice by any means, but it's something that I think all of us have like some form of interest in. I'm not going to share if I trade or what I trade or anything like that. If I do, that's just not even really the point here. It's more so to keep you informed, and hopefully you learn a little bit of something. And like I said, if you guys like this video or whatnot, then we will actually get more into it, in other videos. So in order to do that, go ahead and leave a like. Definitely leave comments, questions, whatever, and certainly subscribe, because the more that you guys like, subscribe, and comment on these videos, then I know what it is that you actually want, and I can help give that to you. So what we're looking at right now, if you know nothing about crypto at all, okay, one of the places that you can go and take a look is here, Coin Market Cap. All right, this is available to everyone. Another spot is called Etherscan, but we'll get into Etherscan in a little bit. So to kind of give an overview of what's been going on, first and foremost, as of this video, sometime late last night, actually, Bitcoin, which is one of the biggest and most well-known cryptos out there, hit its highest mark of all time, and that was at over, it doesn't even show on here, which is crazy. Last night it hit 68,000. You know what? Yeah, for some reason this isn't showing it, but I know for a fact that last night it hit over 68,000. In fact, it hit 68,500, somewhere within that realm was its highest mark. And at the same time, Ethereum hit its highest ever early this morning, which was at 4,000, a little bit over $4,800. Now, going back to Shiba, the reason why Shiba's, the primary focus right now is because of some of the stuff that's been happening recently. So one of the things that happened was, first off, back in September, Coinbase decided to add Shiba Inu to their actual exchange. And if you don't know what an exchange is, we can go more and more into what exchanges are. But it's essentially, exchanges are the places where you can buy, sell, and trade crypto as well as other stock and things like that. And if you notice right up here at the very top of the screen, you'll see cryptos, 13,877 different cryptos, exchanges, 429. Market cap, we'll go into a little bit of all of this stuff right here in just a second. But what ended up happening was that, so back in September, Coinbase decided to add Shiba Inu to its exchange. Coinbase is an exchange, just like Robinhood or Crypto.com. I am not advocating for any of these, any specific one, nothing of that sort. Just giving you the information. Now, Kraken, another exchange, and Robinhood have been looking at adding Shiba Inu to their actual exchanges. And in fact, about what I want to say a few days ago, actually, what was supposed to happen was that Kraken was supposed to allow Shiba Inu on their exchange. However, it didn't go through, and at that point, it ended up becoming news to the actual creator, who goes by the name of Shitoshi Kusama. Now, no one knows male or female anything, so for the purposes of, I'm going to be referring to them as them or their or they are, or however that's going to go. Essentially, they went to Twitter with a little bit of a rant. You know what? I hate using the word rant because rant can be such a negative or derogatory word. Let's just say they went to Twitter with their opinion of the situation. Now, based on their opinion, they were kind of upset initially because of the fact that it hadn't been pushed out to Kraken the way that it should have. And in fact, they took it as kind of a slight to the actual Sheep community. But after actually going through the entirety of their statement, you then realize that what the individual is saying is it kind of switches up, and they go, well, you know what? In all actuality, I can see why they didn't put Sheep onto the exchange at the point in time that they said. And the reason for it is because somewhere there was bad information put out. And what that bad information came through as was based on this here. If you look where you see total supply, max supply, and the circulating supply, for some reason, this had actually come out incorrect. The circulating supply and the actual total supply of the actual token itself was incorrect. And so you have to understand that these exchanges, before they can do anything, there's guidelines and regulations and everything else that they have to check out in order to ensure, the quality of whatever it is that they're trading. Now, the problem was that the information that was actually relayed through one of the individual sites, or someone just putting out bad information, misinformation, whatever, kind of made something look like it was somewhat fishy to them, I guess is the best word to put out there. It may have been looked at as, oh my God, did the creators actually dump more tokens onto the actual Sheep network than what were actually out there at that point in time? Which, let's just say this, it is highly improbable. It's damn near impossible to do so. Consider this. Shiba Inu is on the same network as Ethereum. All right. Ethereum, which has one of the most trusted blockchains out there, would not allow for another token or anything of that sort to have the ability to manipulate the amount of tokens that are out there from what were originally put out there. Now, this is where Etherscan actually comes in. Etherscan comes in and can tell you exactly what the max total supply of any crypto that is traded, that is a reputable crypto on a reputable blockchain. It'll tell you the actual total amount. Now, the max total supply was 999,992,255,510,961.945, etc. of the actual crypto itself. That cannot be changed. The only thing that changes it is forcing this number to go down. How that number goes down, it goes down through the actual circulated supply, which is all that's been purchased, everything else, and then what's then burned or buried in the case of Shiba Inu. There's different terms for different crypto and things like that, but all of them do something called burning. And burning actually helps out the price of the crypto itself. The reason why is because you have to take into account supply and demand. All right. Now, if there were, let's say, 5 Lamborghinis on a lot, those five Lamborghinis were all exactly the same. You expect to pay the same price for any specific one of those Lamborghinis, all right, of those five. Now, let's say that we then took three of those Lamborghinis and destroyed them. Those last two, which are sought after by the same number of people who were seeking the five, let's say we had five buyers for the five Lamborghinis. You have enough supply for the actual demand. Now, you've taken three of those, destroyed them, but those five individuals are still looking to buy those now two Lamborghinis. That price could fluctuate at that point because the actual supply has dwindled off. The demand is still there. Now, essentially, in this case, it's kind of hard to make that same comparison, but when a burn actually happens, the supply, the amount of actual tokens that are left there to purchase, has now been effectively cut, which can actually alter the price. Plus, those that actually go out and sell off their supply, it removes it from the actual total amount. Those who lose it or bury it for whatever purposes, whatever reasons, same exact sort of situation. Also, you have to look at this. What most tokens are there for depends on the actual token. One of the things that was actually talked about, and we're going to jump into that slightly because it's part of why the price has been moving as well, the potentiality of actual burns that are going to come up at a latter point in time. No one knows for sure how it's going to take place, but Ethereum actually set into place a few months ago, and I won't go too far into this at this point, but they set into place a burn that would happen on a continuous basis based on specific things that the algorithm actually has input into it, and that actually drove the price of Ethereum up even greater than what it was at that point. But going into what I really want to show you all, this here is an actual chart based on Shiba Inu from the beginning to now. Okay, let's see, can I go all the way back? All right, yeah, this should take us all the way back. So back in August 4th of 2020, when around the time that the coin first came, we were looking at a price of 10 billionths of a cent, or if we take it all the way down, it's 309 trillionths of a cent. Now, if you guys don't know how to read that price or any of the other ones, let's take it back to old school math class. All right, so you have your ones left of the actual decimal. Then you have cents, etc., going down to the right of the decimal. So you got tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billionths, and so on and so forth. It goes all the way down the line. In this case, at that point in time, that's where it actually set. All right. Now, over the course of time, the price changes based on the amount that's purchased, based on the actual circulating supply, things like that. And in fact, another creator, I want to say it was Buterin. Buterin was the one who burned off a great deal of SHIB on his own after it was, gifted to him for whatever purposes. And now, when we take it all the way up to the price currently today for Shiba Inu, this is what we're actually looking at. Let's just say that it is for without going all the way down the line on, it's at 500 thousandths of a cent from, where did we start? 310 billionths of a cent. And that's within the span of just over a year, which is why so many people have become so invested in this. Beyond what the actual token can do, they see that the price is actually moving at a pretty damn good rate. Now, think about this. Someone back during this area actually put $8,000 into SHIB. Just recently, about last week, in fact, they were able to sell. At one point, it was at 2.5 billion, which then moved up to 5.7 billion dollars when it was converted to US dollars. So what I'm saying is they took 8 grand and turned it into 5.7 billion dollars in essentially just over a year span of time, which as an investment, that's absolutely amazing. The thing about it is they didn't actually sell off all of them if they sold them at all. In fact, I think there was a transfer that happened. Let me correct myself there. The reason why you would hold something like that is because of the fact that what you're looking for and what the point to a greater deal of these cryptos are is they will be used at some point in time for payments on different things. One of the things that Shiba Inu is actually getting into, and their whole project team, they're actually creating games that will allow you to trade, bet, SHIB, and different things like that. And they're working with major game studios, major other companies. One of which I believe that was put out there was Disney. Now, to jump into something a little bit more, just to give you insight on other coins that you have available to you out there, you have something like Ethereum. Ethereum currently is at $4,770, $77.60 per coin. All right. And if you take a look at Ethereum over from its beginning to the current date, where it started, let's try and go back as far as possible here. 70 cents. 70 cents back in 2015. 6 years later, it has had a growth upwards to $4,700, as we just saw. Now, let me explain something else to you here, which is kind of important to understand. This number here, market cap, when it pertains to crypto, this number here is actually the total value of all coins when broken down on a scale versus the US dollar, since it's in, USD at this point. Now, at one point, back about 8.5 years ago, kind of when crypto was really getting put out there, being started to some extent, for lack of a better, term at this point, it was worth $1.3 billion. Now, as I said, 8.5 years ago, that's like the span of, GTA 5. So somewhere around the time GTA 5 came out to now, it actually has now moved to 2.9 trillion dollars. That's a huge leap over an 8-year period of time. The growth is there. The reason why is because people are starting to believe in it for other purposes, which again, I won't go too far into right now because that's not the point of this video. But then when you take a look at it as well, if you were to take out Bitcoin, which is the biggest actual crypto that everyone knows as of right now, which last night hit over $68,000. If you were to take out Bitcoin in that market cap scale, Bitcoin controls currently about 44% of the market when it comes to crypto. Ethereum controls about 19% of the market. But if you were to take Bitcoin out at that point in time, when crypto was kind of, birthing, however you want to call it, without Bitcoin, the market cap was only at about $93 million. All right. And today, the total market cap, if you took Bitcoin out, is about 1.65, 1.66 trillion dollars. Still huge growth overall without even the biggest player put into those numbers. Now, the other stuff that I kind of wanted to go over with you guys, I want to try and keep this somewhat short. Geez, it's already gone, crazy. The other things that you can look at are something like, Baby Doge, which is another quote unquote meme stock that's out there, or meme coin that's out there. The thing about it is, they get called meme coins and whatever else. It's a funny situation because there are functional uses for them, or the functional uses are actually being put forth as the popularity of them grow. And then you have something like this one here, which is called LRC, which has taken a huge growth over the last week, last month, in fact, I want to say. So LRC, let's take it back to, there you go, even last month. So 1025, price is about approximately 43 cents per, and as of today, it's sitting at 2.75. Actually, slightly higher because that doesn't directly update immediately. So 2.8. So $2.80 per from 43 cents approximately a month ago. Not even. That was a couple of weeks ago. So that's a damn good, growth over time. The thing about LRC is that it's slightly different than most coins, but LRC kind of is a, how do I put this? You know what? I'm not even going to get into that because that explanation could be, yeah, take this video to in a whole different direction. Anyway, so some of the other places that you can actually take a look at this information, like I said, beyond CoinMarketCap, CoinMarketCap's going to give you all the details and things like that as far as over its growth over time, the max supply, the actual market cap at that point, the number of different exchanges, all those things you can actually see there, as well as it'll give you some actual information on what the actual crypto or blockchain coin that you're actually purchasing into, which right here, it actually gives you some of the white paper information on LRC itself. So you can get yourself informed on what you're looking at, how you're going to get into it, or what you're going to purchase, how much of it you're going to purchase, at what time, so on and so forth. All of these different things are tools for you to utilize. Now, as far as Etherscan, Etherscan can give you a great deal of that information, but what Etherscan more so does is that it gives you actual insight as to what's been traded at what point in time throughout the day, how much the quantity that was purchased or sold or whatever the case may be transferred from one wallet to another. All of this information is here, and the great thing about it is that even if you make a trade, you can actually, most of the exchanges will allow you to right then and there click to see your trade on Etherscan and show you when it's complete. So you know that when you go to your wallet to go and check and say, okay, I actually transferred from wallet A to wallet B, and make sure that that transfer went through on Etherscan, and then you can verify it, of course, within your wallet. There's tons of different reasons that Etherscan exists, and one of the things that people noticed recently, which is going to carry us into the next point, which is why Shiba Inu has been in the news so much over the last couple of weeks, month, whatever, and bring us back to the whole situation with Kraken and Robinhood, is this. Recently, a transaction for approximately $1.31 billion in Shiba Inu, which translates to about 20 trillion tokens, was actually transferred to new wallets. Everyone has their own opinion on this, and I'm just going to give you those, two of those different opinions. One of them could be right. That's all there is to it, and you can make your own assessment on it based on what you see, on Etherscan or anywhere else as far as the news on this transaction. That transaction was again that 1.31 billion in Shiba Inu was transferred from one wallet to another, which essentially is giving people an idea that either A, some whale, some single individual purchased all of this and transferred it, and technically that wallet has about $2 billion or 39 trillion, almost 40 trillion Shiba Inu tokens in it. But the actual 1.31 billion that was transferred to another wallet and could potentially be a single individual, or what most individuals are thinking is that it was an exchange such as Robinhood that made that transfer. And the reason why this is such a big thing is because there's been a great call out for Robinhood to actually get Shiba Inu on this exchange. The reason why is what Robinhood did for Dogecoin to some extent, and what Dogecoin did for Robinhood as a whole. In fact, essentially, it showed that Dogecoin made up a greater portion of their revenue last year. Huge thing. Why would you not look into the next up and coming crypto? Because here's the thing, Robinhood actually gets a lot of new investors and retail investors into their platform, which is why we saw things like GameStop and AMC, all of those different stocks skyrocket because of the social engineering of what can be performed through Robinhood when large groups of individuals come together as a community, talk about, how they what they want to see when it comes to the actual usage of a crypto or the growth of a company to help push them. Well, Robinhood was one of the places where all of that movement kind of took place. And on Robinhood's end, I mean, of course, here's Doge here. If we take a look at Doge back when it first started, that's where we were. All right. So about 2/10,000ths of an actual cent, which its largest move was right about here. And technically, that 57 cents is incorrect because I remember that actually that night, everyone was kind of on edge about this specific night here. But that Dogecoin actually jumped to about 74% before there was a couple of issues and things like that, and everything just kind of went whack. And of course, it's gone down and up and down and up. And right now, it's sitting somewhere within the realm of 27, 28 cents, things like that on average for the past month or so. Now, the thing about this is Robinhood is such a huge platform that it could actually boost Shiba Inu and put it in a place where a great deal of people are looking for that 1 cent, that 10 cent range. How long that'll actually take, that depends on the communities, different things like that. Everybody who's investing in it, the belief that comes behind it, the more that they actually grow the coin in and of itself on the development team's end. All the different things that they want to implement, whether it's the games or different functionalities, NFTs, all of those different things. Again, this video was more so to give you insight as to what's currently going on as far as with Shiba Inu primarily, and then a little bit of insight into a few other, tokens, places you can look things up, places you can get information to kind of give you an advantage or an understanding, a better understanding of what it is that you're potentially going to invest in. Because what one of the greater things is that all of these coins are supposed to actually be doing is changing the way that we view money, finances, and the actual banking system as a whole. Whether or not it's going to happen, everyone says that, it's going to happen because there's time for a change. And we've watched this change happen multiple times throughout history, whether it was transitioning from precious metals to a dollar currency or fiat currency, as most people would call it, to the credit card system, the growth of the banking system, all these different things, from even credit card to specifically going with something that is tethered directly into your banking system, as well as your actual fiat cash within the banking system, debit. Even though people want to think of debit and credit as exactly the same thing, they are not. There is a difference between it, and it was another transition and growth of the financial system. This is a new means to actually do that same sort of thing, but in a way that we are moving toward digitally on a greater scale. But anyway, that kind of covers everything that I wanted to get into today. Hopefully, this video helps you guys understand what's been going on with Shiba Inu, gave you a little bit of insight into some of the places you can look things up, and of course, hopefully gave you insight into the other tokens and things like that that are out there that you could potentially, either invest in or just get to learn more about before actually taking any steps towards it. Again, please remember to go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, help me out with the algorithm, and help me get to this 1,000 mark. Like, we're damn close. Beyond that, most definitely it'll help me understand whether or not you guys want to see more videos like this and actually get them out there on a regular basis. Thanks a million for watching. I'm the Shell Bullet 8, and I'm out.